Good evening, Rabbi Sai. After the long hiatus, always longer than we think it would be, we are going on to Megillah, Daf Yud Aleph. Yerushalmi Megillah, Daf Yud Aleph. And we're starting at the bottom of the Yud and base. Rabbi Zir b'Shem Rav, the very last line. Rabbi Zir b'Shem Rav, Nikev Nekabi Yerecho Shel Hay. If you, in the Yerech thigh of the hay, which commentator says the right leg of the hay is like this. And so the right leg of the hay is the side which is connected to the top, In Gorov Nishtar Sham Yarch Ketana, if theoretically you could erase the bottom part from the hole to the bottom of the hay, and there still will be some extension on top of it, extending down from the roof of the hay, so then kosher, it's okay. If not, it's no good. Rabbi Zir b'Shem Rav Chisda Hoya Hagimel Mechales Hagvil. So the gimel, the Rashi, the commentator says Shekara the gimel mispashetes at sofa gvil milfanea. It's the leg of the gimel extends out towards the end of the clef. So the point is that it's not surrounded on all sides by airspace. You have to scratch part of the leg of the gimel so that it is surrounded by airspace on all sides. In Gorov Nishtayar Sham Yerech Ketana Kosher. So I think I was making hand movements as if we're talking to the left side of the gimel. We're talking actually to the right side of the gimel. So as long as there's still going to be a Yerech cotton there, there's still going to be a little extension beyond the base of the conjunction of the gimel, it's kosher. Not possible. True, probably on the other side as well. Now that we think about it, right? It works on both sides. Rabbi Hashem Hashem Bar Nidva says, "Nikiv neka beemtza base." You have a hole in the middle of the base. If empty parchment surrounded it on all sides, kosher. The base means kosher. And if not, puzzle. Rabbi Zira, I said Rav Chisda, that which Rav Chisda said is going like Kirav. Now, what does Rav Chisda say? Says the Rav Korbaneda, I said Chisda, Dama the great honey, who said that you can scratch away something which is superfluous. Kirav, who's going like Rav, which named Pliga Ashayan. They both argue on Ashayan, who says the Amar, Greater Lamani, who says Greater doesn't work. Right, because according to Hashayan, we just learned, even if there is empty space on all sides of the hole inside the base, why don't you just scratch out a little bit so then there'll be empty space? So vice versa comes out that according to Hashayan, that the scratching doesn't work in order to make the letter kosher. So therefore, who is the one who says that scratching does make the letter kosher? So it's like a Karab. And they both argue on the Shana Bar Nidva, their friend. Well, sorry, Bar Nidva, sorry. Period. Chavraya Amrei. For some reason I have in my Gemara a semicolon. I'm not sure why. Between Chavraya and Amrei. That's a mistake, I think. Let's try to correct it now. Chavraya, the Chavayim said, he's going like Yerushalmi Megillah is going like Rabbi Yochanan. How so? The time if you link together the letters, is tiny kosher. Some say it's kosher. It's tiny puzzle. Some say it's puzzle. Kosher. He says kosher that it doesn't pass if they're milamaton. It's from below. Mana puzzle milamalon. He says the puzzle it is when it's on top, and the kagon such as artseinu tifarteinu. Okay, let's see the Ridbaz here. Ridbaz says they're connected. Manam are kosher milamatan. He says kosher is below. Perish and Rashba's out, but Shuvas Simon tough ratio out. The Shuvas explains in the bak milamal puzzle. They're connected to os, because before the letter was made, niftzul turasa, right, became to puzzle. You're going therefore in bali gror. Therefore, now you come to scratch out and make the letter be surrounded by air. It's like you are not writing a letter, but carving a letter out of the surrounding area, which is no good. You have to write a letter, not create a letter by virtue of deducting from what's surrounding area. There came a letter altogether to now Shugoro, when you now remove the connection. When they're connected on the bottom, it could go now after the letter is completed. Who should need because they were they were connected. And they were initially as kosher. If now you come to remove where they're connected in the bottom, it's not like chak tuchos, not like creating a letter out of, so by carving it out of this area, but rather by writing it. Therefore, even if you don't, you can remove could be zero. Like Rabbi Zera's famous statement, with a bila and bila makev as well. If you can't do something, you don't have to do it. If you can't do something, you have to do it, and it's possible if you don't. But if you can't do something, you don't have to do it, it's still kosher as is. That's next thing Gemara. It says, I don't know about there the tof is came to the middle of the chaf soifis. Oh. So there, boy, but this is not true. Because it's a letter which extends in between the line. Maybe it's not considered to be a letter until it's complete, right? Possible. Never so called. No good. So I'm saying it's just like any other letter below, at the very bottom, where the letters already fully formed. You're kosher. Really, okay? So that's the thing. I'd say no tipartein with the nun and vav are connected to the bottom, and it's okay. But the artzecho tzadik and chav tifartecha taf and chav tzricha, we don't know what to say. Okay, Rabbi Ada. By the way, that's a little bit of a Zionistic Yerushalmi, right? Artzeinu tifarteinu, the choices they made here. Okay, Rabbi Ada, Rabbi Shimon, b'shem Rabbi Yochanan. A person should not stand in a high place in daven. My time, why? I'm Rabbi Bob, Hashem, Rabbi Papa, have to call you from below. So, it doesn't say here. I don't recall if it says in the Bible. The Bible says, I think it says you're supposed to stand in a low place in daven. Here it just doesn't say don't stand in a high place, but I'm not sure about that. It might be wrong. Okay, Rabbi Ada Shimon, a person shouldn't stand daven if he has to attend to his needs. My time, he called me Yisrael. Prepare properly for greet your God, Israel. And it's not preparing properly because it's going to be you can't have proper kavana, as the Gemara immediately says. Rabbi Simon, he's kavein. He called is not just to prepare, but have kavana. Focus, because so it can't focus if you got to go to the bathroom. What's interesting, I don't think it's the logic of the Bavli. The logic of the Bavli is because it's not a gufnaki. It's not appropriate to stand with a non-gufnaki before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore that talks about how long you can get away with it and how long you can hold it in and so on and so forth. But according to Yerushalmi, it's because of kavanah. It's because of kavanah, so therefore it doesn't seem to make a difference whether you can hold it or not. Okay? I'm Rabbi Xandri. Xandri said, Shmor Aglecha Kashet Elecha Beis Elokim. Watch your legs when you go to the Beis Elokim. What does it mean, your legs when you go to the house of God? This is to watch yourself. That drop should not come out from between your legs. So, all this is talking about what by urine. Okay, and evidently by urine, it's more pressing. But I have literally the thin stuff. I have a bagasim, but the thick stuff, in Yochel Yisbol, if you can tolerate it, evidently people had to go much more time in the old days before they found a place to defecate appropriately. So therefore, they were used to having to wait and hold in, and therefore evidently would not share their kavanah as much. Again, assuming that's the pshat in this Gemara. Rabbi Yaakov bar Avi b'shem Rabbi Yaakov. Shmor raglecha kasher tilech beis Elokim. Watch your legs to go to the house of God. He doesn't learn the house of God, meaning the Beis HaKnesses, the shul, but rather Nikra Beis Elokim, you get called on high to the house of God. When you die, you should be clean and pure and clean. Rabbi said, your source should be blessed, which normally we understand to mean has to do with one's children. But here we understand it's the bracha which you give the children. Yom Kippur, every Kippur say Him Korachar Baruch. So it means that your source should be blessed, meaning the children you have. But you say Him Korachar Keva Baruch, which on both ends, both the way in and the way out. When you're called to the dead, to the cave, you should be blessed. The interesting Korban says, "Mikral Kevik Shikruch Chesol Kem," and according to the grave, Baruch Mikol Mesim, by all the dead. Shimu Baruch Boecha Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Yid. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yecha Eislo Ledes Veisamus. The pasuk, of course, Kohel is the time to be born, time to die. Ashkel Adam praise with the person Shashasni Soso. At the time of his death, Kashasli Doso. Mashasli Doso no, just like the time he was born, he was clean. Abishasmi Soso, so to the time he dies, he should be clean. Right, Rabbi Shem Rabbi Yehuda. Getting back to halacha, Rabbi Shem Rabbi Yehuda. Hayasi Kechati Chaltera. If the this is a look at the Korban. It's a Kechati Chaltera. It's like a pancake, half a pancake. So what does it mean? And the half pancake, like the layers of an onion. So it goes a large arch, a little bit smaller arch. I don't know how many arches you made, it says you too, but whatever. So you wrote like half pancake. Hey, Mena Shtayim, the third to last line. No, it's not the highest line, but the third to last line has to have three. It has to be 3 letters in it. Okay. It says here. On the side here, meaning I wrote it side, it's lavosechem loseis lochem. Well, those it has to those because if you had if there was only 2 letters, 2 words, it'd be not less than 9 letters. It have to be 9 letters in the line in order for the line to be kosher. Okay, sechem loseis lochem is enough. Hamtsois, the middle one. Which is the second to last one. Stein has to have 2 letters, and it says Kimei HaShamayim, right? That is enough. That's exactly 10 letters, and that's enough. And Tachtoina, the very last line, Afilalo, that's even if it says only Al Haaretz, the very last line in the Parsha and the Mezuzah, even though it's less than 9 letters, because it's the end of the parsha, so therefore that can end. It can have a partial line. So I write it says that it's talking about even not just in the mezuzah, and this is. Not sure why I say that here, but that's what I say on the side. But the Korban says Simfon Balach Son. Can't show everybody else. It's written like triangle. So like this. Long line, shorter line, shorter line, shorter line. Okay. So same thing. The line which is the third from the bottom has to have three words. The last word, last 2 words. But say any of them. The middle one, I don't know. Now I see what I wrote on the side. It's my talking about the parashas, because if it's talking about Mezuzah, we just know exactly how it's supposed to end. So it must be talking about any parsha, not just the parasha Mezuzah and a regular Sefer Torah. Rabbi Yirmiyah Amar Rabbi Zir b'Shem Rav Chisda. He said the name Rabbi Zir, name Rav Chisda. Yerushalmi Megillah Yosef. Tavayim name Rabbi Zir b'Shem Asher ben Dovach Vraya. Oh, see, Now I know I put the semicolon when I did before. Because Asher Barnova Dava was Chevraya. It wasn't before Chevraya on my top. It was Asher Chevraya because he was like Rabbi Chanina Chavreyan Rabbanan. He didn't have smicha, but he's called in Eretz Yisrael, the people who are chachamim who didn't have smicha, usually because it came from Babel, were called Chavreyan Rabbanan. So here they're Chaverim. So here it is called Chevraya. Okay, so that's what it was before. So Bezir b'shem Yerushalmi Megillah Chevraya Mar Bezira Shem Rabbi Chanano Im Hoysad Yo Yotza Mi Ben Ad Kavim. If you had holes in the cloth and the ink was coming out from between the holes, possible. How it's possible, right? Keitzerosa, how do you check this out? Lochacho, you lick the parchment on the other side, right? This is from the Mashbiach. You lick the parchment on the other side. If you taste the ink, it's coming through and it's possible. V'hiomedes, right? So if you don't know what Mashbiach means, that you lick it and then it won't come through, like the stands. But like the Mashbiach means you lick it to see if it's coming through. And if you don't feel it, it's standing there. Okay. Tav Yishmitas Hashem. If you made a mistake and left out the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tani. There's a Tana who says Moichek Esachol because it is a shame. You wipe out that which was chol and write the shame. The Torah is a chol and you make a carrot. As you put the chol between the lines, right? A carrot, that's what it's called, and then you write on top of the line, right? Rabbi Zira Rabbi Chanam B'Shem Rav Halach Mishumer Mochek Zakol. The Kaisav es Hashem, the Torah is a chol. Let's see, passes that way. B'zir Rav Chanam B'Shem Rav B'Yim Ani Hashem Elokeichem Mutar. If it's like Hashem Elokeichem, then it's actually is permissible. Mutar, it's permissible. Now we're asked, Lama. Why is it permissible? Right? So, in other words, you can't erase one word and put the Shem Hashem on it. So if it's 3 words, that's permissible. Why? So let's see the Korban Eda. Lama, my time of mutter. Looks like a line in itself. The ends of Bizayin Hashem. Therefore, it's not Bizayin for the Shem Hashem. So it says here that it can be toilet. 3 words. If you've got 3 words, and one of them is Shem Hashem. Well, actually, we don't know Shem Hashem. If you've got 3 words, then you can put those 3 words in carrots, even though they have Shem Hashem. So now the Gemara asks, why is that? Is that again lama? Is it because it's 3 words, or because it has a chol and kodesh together, and therefore it's not as bad, evidently, as if it was only the Shem Hashem. Nafka mi what's nafkamina? Let's not forget somebody who writes somewhere. There's no nafkamina. Never says we're nafkamina in the Yerushalmi. Probably shot to Yisrael. Never says the word nafkamina in Yerushalmi. It says relation. Here's nafik min beinei home. It comes out from among them, right? This is nafkamina, same idea. Akel Elokim Hashem, right? Itemar mibnei shein sholosh tevos. If you're gonna say because it's 3 words, so then harei and sholosh tevos, it's 3 words. Because it's because there's also chol there. Harei bo chol doesn't have chol. So now I have here on the bottom. Look at the Tzini Yerushalmi. It says the third to last line. Amnam evesi raya mizor parshas bo. This is a very famous Zohar. Shekosav, it says Man pnei Adon Hashem. Do Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says Pnei Adon Hashem does Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and in Chabad and perhaps other circles they learn from this side about the relationship of a Rebbe to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Tzini Yerushalmi says, in this case, that Pnei Adon is not Kodesh. V'av sh'doidis came to Sefer in Pabachas Kosav j'sei chiluf b'chiluf lidrosh Pnei Adon Hashem al Rosh Yochai. He says the Zohar can't be because it's black to say that it's going on. Rishon by Yochai, right? It's blasphemy. Avol Kosvuli Hashev, but they said to reconcile the Adon Hashem who kamo Har Hashem or Mashiach Hashem. So it's like Adon Hashem, Espene Adon Hashem, the Adon is not Kodesh. It's just like there's there Har Hashem and there's Machne Hashem and Mashiach Hashem, there's Adon Hashem. I've got Kavan Adon Shel Hashem. That's a Kosh Baruch Hu, Master. Kopanim is there, Raya Shadon, Eno, Shem. You say Adon Hashem, which is in the Parsha, in Parshas Vayera, where he says, everyone says, Bi Adonai. Questions with this Kodesh Chol. So according to this, it would be Chol. Okay. Let's go further. Lashem Tzricha. Ba Hashem Tzricha. Says the Korban Hashem Tzricha. If you think it's nomination Chol, let's say it's because Chol Mibayin La Hashem Mirminer came Shesh Bosu Teva Atzma Chol. Since in that word itself there's Chol because the Lamed Shari, it's okay. Maybe because also the Lamed is serving the Hashem, so therefore it's tough to Hashem, and therefore it's not to be Chol. We don't know the answer. Tzricha. Hashem Tzricha, Hashem Tzricha, the same idea. Rabbi Yoshe Brei Rav Chanamar Tzricha Tov Hey Lamata Merkavosah Shel Dalet. So Bnei Moshe says over here, Moshe Tzricha Tov Hey Lamata Merkavosah Shel Dalet Kimsayim Azul Shu B'Pasuk Hala Hashem Tigmul Uzos in Hazinu. We know the Ha La Hashem are two separate words. Piti could say from Sir Oisa Hey Nichtava Gedola. That people has here in large. I mean, if Shev is a cheshbon alabase adolim, it's one of the large alabase sheish mechav dotzran in Tanakh. They have to make sure not to make the hay larger lamed elamata below negar kuva shol halamed yaschil lichtov. That's what's good, but below opposite the leg of lamed should be make a large kechli shtama kishtei tevos. In order that it should be like two words, Ha La Hashem, Tigmuluzos. So evidently, I know exactly how that works, but somehow aesthetically it looks more like it's below. If it's below lower level, the large A, it looks like two separate words, opposed to be one on word. I guess you have to look and say to understand it. I'm not visualizing it at the moment. Okay. Mezuzah is tani psucha. The mezuzah, some say it's psucha, is tani the stuma. Some say it's stuma. Says the parshas in the mezuzah. Are they between the two parshas? Between Bisharech and Vayam Shema? Does it open to the end of the line, or is it sasum that the second parsha begins in the same line? Shmuel bar Shilas, Shmei the Rav said, "Look, mishma psucha." Is psucha shein zebekayma because it's not that clear in the Chumash. Parshas Vayzchan and Parshas Eiket. Shema Tavayim Shema. So therefore, the rationale dictates that it should be psucha. I don't remember this in the Bavli. Psucha mereisha. So it stuma. So the stuma, the Bnei Moshe says, psucha mereisha stuma im lo yischil v'yam shema tchilas hashita. If he didn't begin the beginning of the line, he left some blank space. In other words, you indented. It wasn't on the same line as Bisharecha, but you indented it, right? This is what's called Psucha Mirasha, but Stuma at the same time. Or, conversely, says Gemara, Psucha Misofa, he says, so I'm sorry, Psucha Mirasha is the Stuma. So Psucha at the beginning is considered to be stuma. In other words, that's no good. You can't indent. You have to start at the beginning of the line. Pesucha misaifa, if it's pesuach misaifa, that's psucha. So it's because it's from Neda. I'm sorry. She's chilichto mitchilas hashita. You wrote from the beginning. V'lo'nir cholak ela besaifa. You only left a little bit at the end. That's still considered to be pesucha. Okay. Pesucha mikan umikan. What if it's pesuach on both sides? It's indented on both sides. It also has the halacha of being sesuma. Okay. Says the name of this. Kam katsumi psim parsha shema shel faneh b'emtza shita. Finish the middle of the line. V'nicha psucha, and you left it open. V'tzil tov v'yoah b'emtza shita. On the next line. V'zel mikan u'mikan. Nikresi ganken stuma. It's also stuma. In other words, vayam b'sham must start at the beginning of the line. It can't be, even if it's separate lines. It can't start at the beginning. Okay, Talavishmi pasuk echad. If you left out one pasuk, im yesh bo shtayim shlosha shitim metakno. If you have 2 or 3 lines, you can fix it the koribo. Evidently, you make a carrot, right? Above, it's 4 lines in a koribo. That's not appropriate. Okay, it's too much. Rabbi Zira Shem Rechan said, "Af bekera came." So it says, "Af bekera came in nikra gilin sefer Torah." Nichas bekera b'shol shitim. If there's a river 3 lines, you pour. You can still sew. Arba shitim, you pour. You can zena. Because the 4 lines can't aesthetically no good. You gotta put in kniza. Tani, we learned seven shish b'shtayim b'shalosh toyos b'chol daf to daf b'takna b'korbo. This 3-4 thing occurs again. If you have 2 or 3 mistakes on every page, you can still fix it. Arba ain't a korbo. 4 already. It's clear that there's something wrong here. Something stinks. You can't use it. V'atayim learned seven shish b'shmanim b'chamesh toyos keparshta v'ein simutza b'takna b'korbo. So we have a seven shish. Even it has 85 mistakes. Only 85 mistakes are allowed, not more. It's not 3 or 3 in every column, right? So a sefer gadol is says the Bnei Moshe is each one is from the Chamish Chumshei Torah. Sefer gadol is sefer echad. I'm sorry, call it. So that which you have up to 3 mistakes in each page works. And how he made sarkaniza, how the sefer Torah. With the entire Sefer Torah. That which gives limit up of 85 letters. The Sefer, I'm a Sefer Kaddish, Sefer Chad, when it's one of the 5 Chumashim, came Sefer Kaddish, Kokach Toyos, so many mistakes in one Sefer, she doesn't pay, hey, Lomahani Beitikun. Doesn't work. I was told by an expert Sefer that before they had the computer imaging, computer scanning of Sefer Torah, the average new Sefer Torah written by an expert Sefer had 200 mistakes. Okay, 200 mistakes in the entire Sefer Torah. Because it's not bad, right? 85 per Sefer, which means you have up to 85 times 5, which is 400 something, right? So 200 something is not bad. Okay. Rabbi Zira Shem Rechan said, "Matzah b'daf echad sholem matzios kulo." If you want one daf with sholem, it says everything. Ma'usha, what does sholem mean? She'ein bo, and here the Shai Teretz Yisrael takes out the word gimel, which makes sense. Sholem she'ein bo Torah has no mistakes at all. Oh, sholem she'ein doesn't have 4 mistakes. What does sholem mean in this context? Okay, it's I don't think that this answers here. Let's see. Rabbi Chagra Rabbi Barbina, you have a right of Hanana Karabah. He gave him the Torah to read from. So he said this Torah requires tzolu, meaning it needs a tzola, because there are lots of mistakes in it, says Bnei Moshe. The self matzah daf attributes its kula. So once he found one daf, which is Sholem, and saved the whole thing. Ma Sholem Shem Bo Toyos, or Sholem Shem Bo Arba, the same question. The Gemara does not give an answer. We will stop here for this evening. Here's the Shem Shav Siyata Dishmaya to continue this winter on a regular basis. As Hashem Yisborach. Good night.